Welcome to a new edition of Showtime with Coupe, insightful BS with my Laker teammates, NBA legends, and special people. I'm going to have to add something to that. But today we got the Wonder Boy himself back, Josh Schnitman. And Josh is a resident historian of the NBA. I've had Josh on before, and I just had to have him back because Josh, I'm going to almost let you take over the show. You kind of lead us where you want us to go, okay? But I'm going to start. With, it's media day. Well, for some teams, I think the Lakers had theirs yesterday, about the LA Lakers, baby. So we're going to start there. Let's talk about our Lakers and how they're going to win the championship this year.
Well, I think for them to be the most competitive team that they could possibly be, Luka Doncic's objective should actually be to lead the NBA in assists. And his teammates will reap the benefits of his passing powers. And it'll not only affect their performance on offense, but also on defense. It'll energize them on defense. They do have a Defensive Player of the Year recipient, a former Defensive Player of the Year recipient. That's Marcus Smart. He was the recipient of the NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 2021, 2022. They intensified their interior defense. DeAndre Ayton, every single season he's played in the NBA, he's registered a rebound per game average of at least 10 or higher.
What about LeBron?
LeBron is going to be turning 41 years old on December 30th. And he's been an All-NBA first-team selection a record 13 times, 2005, 2006, each season from 2007, 2008 to 2017, 2018, and then again one more time in 2019, 2020, including in all four of his championship seasons. He's been awarded the NBA MVP 4 times in 2008, 2009, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2012, 2013. He's been the Finals MVP in all 4 of his championship seasons, and he's been the MVP of the NBA in 2 of his 4 championship seasons. At his age, I'm certainly amazed by the level of sustained excellence that he's exhibited.
And you know what? So many people talk about the GOAT this, the GOAT that, and I don't want to get into that, but I hear a lot of things on social media about LeBron. He's lost more than he's won, but you know what? You got to give that guy credit. Sometimes, and the one thing I applaud him for, because sometimes people chase money. You know, they'll come in with one team. They'll go to another team after 2 or 3 years to get more money. They'll move around for the financial dollars. And you know what? If that's your pleasure, then that's it. But LeBron has moved around because he wants to win championships. And people make a lot out of that, like Jordan staying where he was for all those years to win a championship. You know what? I applaud LeBron because, again, that's what your legacy is left on. What have you done? How many championships have you won? It's not where you want them at, but it's how many have you won? And, you know, unfortunately, he gets criticized for that a lot. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he has team hopped in pursuit of championship success. He infamously left the Cleveland Cavaliers in the offseason of 2010 to take the easy route out and join the Miami Heat. Now, the byproduct effect is that he was able to help lead them to 2 NBA titles. And in both of those circumstances was the MVP and the Finals MVP. Then he did the right thing in the offseason of 2014 and reunited himself home as a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And he ignited the most dramatic NBA Finals Series comeback. Historically speaking, the Cleveland Cavaliers, behind his leadership, became the first team in NBA history to come back in an NBA Finals Series in the event of being down 3-1. Everyone remembers the chase down block in the deciding Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals Series. Then in the offseason of 2018, he decided to join the Lakers. And remember, there's only been 4 athletes in the history of the NBA that have concluded an assist title season with a championship victory. Bob Cousy is the only athlete in the history of the NBA that concluded multiple assist title seasons with a championship victory leading up to this point. 1956-57, his MVP season, then again in 1958-59, and in 1959-1960. Jerry West in 1971-72 led the NBA in assists, orchestrating the fast break offense of a team that rolled off 33 consecutive victories en route to the championship. Of course, Bill Sharman originated the game day preparation routine that basketball teams today use during his precedent-setting 1971-72 NBA Coach of the Year season, and he instructed Jerry West to focus on being more two-dimensional. Then Bill Sharman's draft selection, Earvin Magic Johnson. In 1986-87, Earvin Magic Johnson established himself as the only athlete in the history of the NBA to achieve the MVP, the assist title, and the finals MVP in a championship-winning season. But of course, his teammate, Michael Cooper, established himself as the first ever to conclude an NBA Defensive Player of the Year season with a championship victory. And then LeBron in 2019-2020 was the assist champ in a season that concluded with a championship. So that's why I brought up that point that if Luka Doncic, if his objective is to lead the NBA in assists, I think it would be very favorable to the performance of all of his teammates. But defense wins championships. And let me just tell you something right now, Michael Cooper. And I don't know if you even realize this. You were an NBA All-Defensive first-team selection on a championship-winning team during the Showtime era as many times as Earvin Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar combined earned a place on the All-NBA first team in a season that concluded with the championship during the Showtime era. You were an NBA All-Defensive first-team selection in 1981-82, 1983-84, 1984-85, obviously in 1986-87 when you established yourself as the very first to conclude an NBA Defensive Player of the Year season with a championship victory, and then again in 1987-88, you were placed on the NBA All-Defensive first team. So you were an NBA All-Defensive first-team selection 5 times overall, including in 4 of the championship seasons for you, Earvin Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the Showtime Lakers. Earvin Magic Johnson was an All-NBA first-team selection 9 times overall each season from 1982-83 to 1990-1991, including in 3 of the 5 championship seasons for the Showtime Lakers in 1984-85. Obviously, his historic 1986-87 MVP assist title season, which he concluded with a Finals MVP performance. And then again in 1987-88, Earvin Magic Johnson was an All-NBA first-team selection on a championship-winning team during the Showtime era. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was awarded the NBA MVP in the first of the 5 championship seasons for the Showtime Lakers. But of course, Earvin Magic Johnson established himself still to this day as the only rookie to achieve the World Championship Series MVP. I brought that point up for 2 reasons. One, just to bring some life and to let everyone know that defense wins championships. But also, it's very important to me that people realize how integral you were to the success of the Showtime Lakers. It is a true statement that you were an NBA All-Defensive first-team selection on a championship-winning team during the Showtime era as many times as Earvin Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar combined earned a place on the All-NBA first team in a championship-winning season during the Showtime era.
And listeners, this is why we love Josh the Wonder Kid on the show, because his knowledge of statistics and his history in the NBA is unmatchable. I mean, I haven't heard anybody else. I'm pretty sure there's other people out there, but Josh is one of the best. Josh, again, sticking with our Lakers this year, because that's what I want to talk about again. But thank you for those facts, and that is amazing because I didn't know that. Austin Reeves, I think they're going to need a lot out of AR-15 this year.
He's extremely versatile. Why not try to earn a place on the NBA All-Defensive first team? Why not try to earn a place on the NBA All-Defensive first team? He is a deadly mid-range and long-range shooting threat. This will be the first full season for Luka Doncic's teammates, current teammates, to get used to him and get accustomed to him. So, again, if Luka Doncic focuses on leading the NBA in assists, not only would it enhance Austin Reeves' performance so significantly, but it would also, on offense, but it would also enhance his performance on defense because it would energize him. I think his focus should be to be as defensive-minded as he could possibly be because he does supply a tremendous deal of hustle. And light it up. Light it up. Be prepared. He supplies versatility that's definitely favorable to them being a formidable playoff contending team.
You're listening to Showtime with Coupe. We got Josh, the Wonder Kid, on here. Wonder Man, let's say that like that. Josh is on joining us again. Josh, thank you for your time. A couple of more questions for you. Josh, will the Los Angeles Lakers, I'm not going to even talk about beat, but will they kick the Boston Celtics ass this year when they see them the 2 times?
This year, yes. And the reason being is because of Jason Tatum not being present for possibly the entire season. And I wish Jason Tatum well.
Yes,
I've
we
always
do.
been fond of him. He's a 4-time All-NBA first-team selection. So I certainly wish him the very best. I would like to see him recover from that Achilles injury, not rush it, come back when it's time and reestablish himself, not just as an all-star, but as an All-NBA first-team selection. But without him, obviously, they're going to be very compromised. Jaylen Brown is someone who I actually think is very capable of achieving the NBA Defensive Player of the Year award. Now, again, I'm talking to is someone that was the first ever to conclude an NBA Defensive Player of the Year season with a championship victory. Still to this day, one of only 5 to have concluded an NBA Defensive Player of the Year season with a championship victory. One of only 4 to have concluded 4 or more NBA All-Defensive first-team seasons with a championship victory, and the only superstar athlete in the history of the NBA to have concluded a Defensive Player of the Year season with a championship victory, and 4 or more times to have concluded an NBA All-Defensive first-team season with a championship victory since the Defensive Player of the Year award was established in 1982-83, and since the NBA All-Defensive first team was established in 1968-69. But I do believe that Jaylen Brown has the makings of a Defensive Player of the Year recipient. In fact, I've actually seen him have tremendous success covering Luka Doncic and wearing him out and providing a fatigue factor. So I think if he tries to earn the Defensive Player of the Year award, that's his objective, then it certainly would at least enable the Celtics to maybe get into the playoffs. There's no one in the world, I don't think, that expects them to go very, 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 very far, but until Jason Tatum is back at full strength, that is. But I think it would be nice. Leading up to this point, he's achieved 4 All-Star selections. It'd be nice to see him add more to his resume and really establish himself as someone. I mean, he was the
as you see,
2024. So,
Josh, thank you for that. As you see, Josh can go on a tandem a little bit. We love him for that. But the bottom line to the question I asked is that the Lakers are going to dominate the Celtics. They're going to kick their ass, and we will eventually win the championship this year, and we will tie the Celtics for that 18th trophy. My next subject, and it's one dear to my heart, Josh, and this is one that we've talked about in the past about. Let's talk a little bit about what made Chick Hearn so great as a man as far as calling the Los Angeles Lakers, and as just a great sportscaster throughout all sports, all time.
Well, I think obviously passion and command for the English language in his case, because he did coin terms that are now ubiquitous in the basketball dictionary. In fact, slam dunk is not just used when basketball is being discussed, but sometimes someone will say, don't get nervous for your math test. It'll be a slam dunk. So that he is responsible for so much of today's colloquial language.
And what about some of his chickisms?
This game is in the refrigerator. The door is closed. The lights are out. The eggs are cooling. The butter's getting hard. The jello's jiggling. He displayed an extraordinary level of creativity.
You know what? Whenever Chick said that, as a young man, I was watching the Lakers here. You knew the game was already won, and that's what's going to happen when the Lakers play the Celtics. But we won't get too much into that. Okay, go into a little bit of Chick's records. How many games he's called? How many he missed? Talk a little bit about that.
PrizePicks is the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. With millions of members, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Pick more or less on at least 2 players to win up to 2,000 times your cash. How do you play? That's simple. You can pick one sport, cross sports, doesn't matter. Pick more or less on any of the stats offered on the platform, and you can pick 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter. It's that simple. For me personally, I like to settle in on one game, see what's going on. That way I can track it, players on both sides, and that's how I like to make my selections, but you can play however you want. The most important thing for you to do is download that app and use the code CLNS. That's code CLNS, and you get 50 put into your account as soon as you play 5. All you have to do is play 5, get 50 when you use the code CLNS. In addition to that special offer, there's a lot of other great features on Prize Picks. Taco Tuesday, where you get a discounted stat or a discounted player. Freaky Friday, lots of free squares, which basically just allows you to insert something into your lineup, which is almost certain to hit. Makes it that much easier to win your cash. So once again, download that app today. Use code CLNS, play 5, and get 50 instantly in your account. Once again, download the app, code CLNS, get 50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
It's remarkable, the sustained level of excellence that he exhibited and his commitment to his profession, and that he was there for an overwhelming number of decades. And I think it's truly remarkable, the loyalty that he showed to the Laker brand. And you know something about loyalty. So.
Oh, for sure. That's about it. Okay. Josh, anything else you want to talk to us about? I told you you're going to have to leave this for the day, because I want everybody to know about your knowledge about the game of basketball or anything other sports.
Yeah, I think that in order for the Lakers ever to produce championship success, they should always follow the framework that Bill Sharman provided. He was the one and only constant part of the first 11 of the Lakers championships in Los Angeles in various capacities. And he is the quintessential model of one that led with sincerity and integrity. And Bill Sharman is the most accomplished figure in the history of professional basketball. He achieved a record 17 championships in 5 different respective capacities. He really should have a statue. So commissioned by the Lakers. And of course, I've always felt that he, Bill Sharman, Pat Riley, and Phil Jackson should be immortalized in the Laker rafters, because Arnold Red Auerbach is commemorated in the Celtics rafters, William Red Holzman in the Knicks rafters, Phil Jackson in the Bulls rafters, Chuck Daly in the Pistons rafters, etc. I also feel that you should have a statue, by the way. You're the only Laker that ever was awarded the NBA Defensive Player of the Year. You stylized defense. You came up with the 5 Ds: discipline, desire, determination, dedication, and decision-making. Honestly, for the Lakers to have a chance of winning the championship, they need to watch footage of you and the most highly effective job that you did wearing out your opponents on defense, namely Larry Bird. In both of the circumstances that the Lakers defeated the Celtics in the NBA Finals in the 1980s, 1985 and 1987. Both of those circumstances, you were placed on the NBA All-Defensive First Team, and in one of those circumstances, you established yourself as the very first to conclude an NBA Defensive Player of the Year season with a championship victory. So you are a story of someone that relied on integrity and principle to excel. Listen, I'm just going to be very real with you. Who else could say that when they were a toddler, they suffered an injury and it was established that they may never be able to walk, and they stationed themselves in a squat position during perhaps the most intensely competitive and transformative era to 5 NBA All-Defensive First Team selections, including in 4 of the 5 championship seasons, for a championship powerhouse that proved to be more favorable to the television ratings of the NBA, more so than any other since the league's inception. Who else could say that? Honestly, I believe that you should have been on the NBA's 75th anniversary team. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you're on the NBA's 100th anniversary team, because you deserve it. You're one of the most versatile athletes in NBA history. Not only are you one of the most defensive-minded superstar athletes in NBA history, but name me one other athlete in the history of the NBA that has an alley-oop play named in their honor. Koopa Loop. You stylized, crowd-pleasing, gravity-defying slam dunk finishing. And in the process, the concept of teamwork was promoted because it came in the form of Irvin Magic Johnson or early on Storm and Norman Nixon throwing the lob pass and then you completing the alley-oop play, the Koopa Loop, with a sensational, gravity-defying, crowd-pleasing slam dunk finish. And let's not forget what happened in Game 2 of the 1987 NBA Finals Series when you delivered a then NBA Finals record 6 3-point field goals in your historic NBA Defensive Player of the Year season. Absolutely, you were one of the most versatile athletes in NBA history, but also one of the most commendable role models.
Well, Josh, you know what? If I ever need stroking, I'm going to call you all the time. Because when I am down and out, I'm going to call you and get that energy puffed up there. This show is not supposed to be about me. We're glad you got pants on, Josh, okay, and not on anything else. This show is not about me. It's about Josh. Josh, listen, I want to thank you, man, for always freeing up some time to come on the show a little bit. But before I let you go, my last question. Give me your top 6, because I was a 6th man, and there's other people that are worthy of that role with the Lakers. Your top 6 Lakers all time.
My top 6?
And in no unnecessary order.
Can it be players and coaches and management, or just
no? Just your top 6 players.
Just players.
And okay. I'll go your top 5 management people, and that can include owners.
Okay. Obviously, Bill Sharman, the championship framework provider for the Lakers.
But now let's go players first.
So here's what I'm going to do. Irvin Magic Johnson displayed what's widely regarded as the most picture-perfect highlight reel ball handling and playmaking wizardry.
That's one.
But what I would do is I'd have him be I want to get both Jerry West and Kobe Bryant in there, if you will. So what I would do is I'm going to have a bunch of guards in here, just so you understand. But remember,
it doesn't matter, Josh, just top 6 players.
Irvin could, since he's 6'8" or 6'9", could supply what's characteristic of multiple positions. So obviously Jerry West, who led the NBA in assists, orchestrating the fast-break offense of a team that rolled off 33 consecutive victories and route to the championship. Obviously Kobe Bryant, an NBA All-Defensive first-team selection, a record-tying 9 times, including in 3 of his 5 championship seasons, an All-NBA first-team selection, a magnificent 11 times, including in 3 of his 5 championship seasons. He displayed the most extraordinary scoring craftsmanship perhaps ever witnessed in the annals of NBA history. So then, obviously, Irvin Magic Johnson.
You already said him. You got 3. You got Jerry West, Magic, Kobe,
Will Chamberlain. He in all but so he played for the Lakers from 68-69 to 72-73. Now in 69-70, he missed a significant portion of the season due to injury. But in 68-69, 70-71, obviously in 71-72, when they ruled off a professional sports record, 33 consecutive victories en route to the championship, and then 72-73, led the NBA in rebounds. You got to have Wilt in there.
That's 4.
Then I'm gonna say you. You're the only Laker. Since the Defensive Player of the Year award was established in 1982-83, you're the only Laker that's ever been named the NBA Defensive Player of the Year. And like I said, you're the first ever that concluded an NBA Defensive Player of the Year season with a championship victory.
That's 5. You need a 6th man.
What's that?
You need a 6th man.
Well, also Elgin Baylor.
Listen, what about Elgin, Shaq, and LeBron?
I would say Elgin. But
I beat out Shaq and LeBron for your all-time team.
Absolutely. You can't win.
All right, okay.
It's an NBA All-Defensive first-team selection the same number of times as me. 0. Okay. You're not winning a championship without defense, and you are absolutely
now management.
Principle.
Management now. Let's go management. Your top 5 in Laker history management.
Obviously, Bill Sharman.
Yeah.
Does this include head coaches and general managers?
Yes.
Okay, so Bill Sharman is a head coach and general manager. Jerry West also in an executive role.
That's 3.
Pat Riley.
4.
Phil Jackson.
You already got him on. What about Dr. Bus?
Either Dr. Bus or Francis Chick Hearn. Because Francis Chick Hearn was an assistant manager.
Pick one.
Well, it depends. It depends on if you're analyzing it from the standpoint of marketing and business or basketball. If you're analyzing it from the standpoint of basketball, I might say Francis Chick Hearn, actually. If you're analyzing it from the standpoint of marketing and business, then
you have to go business. Dr. Bus bought the Lakers for what, 67 million? And they just sold for 10 billion. Dr. Bus. Bam, there you have it. Josh, thank you so much, sir. We always love your grateful insight. And you know what? I'm going to have you on again. But I need you on with Nick because Nick's going to have a lot to say about the Boston Celtics and us killing them off here. Lakers are going to win the championship this year. They're going to beat Boston in both games this year when they play them home and away. And I'm predicting that the Boston Celtics will finish number 7 or 8 in the playoff race, and they may not even make it there, where the Lakers going to finish in the top 3.
Yeah, there's the defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder. There's the Denver Nuggets, of course. So that's reasonable.
Listeners, that's another wrap for the Showtime with Coupe. Josh, we love you. Take care of yourself, man, and I'll talk to you soon.